that just happened, and if you've ever had a loved one that you've lost, it's hard. And you feel like going into a quiet place by yourself, mourning, grieving, doing all of our own religious rituals, right? And so it's quite hard that these families have had to come into the spotlight to stand up for their children. This is not where they want to be. And for those people who somehow think that they want to be in the spotlight, I guarantee you, this is not where they want to be. For all of these families, for every single family member that is suffering through these losses. So I want to commend all of these families. I also want to commend them for coming together as a group, right? Because all of us, we are stronger together.
Absolutely.
And there are so many unanswered questions for all three of these cases. But there's hope. And I see that hope because we do get calls. We have been getting over 100 calls a day. And I want to thank everybody who's called in. Because for every time there's a hater that's saying that these people just want the spotlight, when somebody calls in with some encouragement, when somebody calls in with some information, it makes up for that. Because we know that we're stronger together. These questions, these cases can be solved, and we can do it together. So I want to thank everybody for calling, right? But I also, last thing, I want to encourage those who have not called yet, and you know that you have some information. One, I know that it's scary. I know that you may be scared. But if there's a time in your life to do the right thing, this is it. Now is the time. And you just have to be brave. And go ahead and please call us. These people, we need you. We need you. Thank you.
And as Nolan about getting ready to come, I cannot express to you how encouraged we are that we're going to get to the truth. I mean, so many things are coming to light, and we're going to get to the truth. We are not trying to cast aspersions on anybody. We want the truth. We want the truth. That's what we want. And like I said, if that implication or exonerates you, then you got to talk to your Lord. You got to talk to your God. But we want the truth and nothing but the truth. And if it was your child, you would want the same thing. And so that's why everybody who got children, you can understand the pain, the agony that this mother and father have been dealing with since 4th of July. How people came, time within hours of finding him saying, well, no foul play, just gone. How do you tell somebody just to go on when my son is dead and nobody's giving us any answers? All those people out on that island, and you mean nobody knows nothing? Nobody saw anything? No, we refuse to accept that nobody knows nothing. We're going to get to the truth. We're going to get to the truth. We're going to get to the truth. And it's starting to come to light. Because truth is light. And we're going to get to the truth. Y'all give it up for the mother and father of Nolan Wells, Erving and Christine.
Thank you all for being here today. It has been 27 days.
Oh, bless the Lord.
Since we have been able to talk to our son, to hug him, to tell him we love him. This has been the most difficult time we have ever had. I want to tell you who Nolan was. Nolan was a God-fearing, God-loving child. He loved everyone. He was the person who would just make you feel comfortable just being in his space. He was never one to exclude. He always wanted everyone to be happy, to feel good, to have purpose. He would lift anyone up. It didn't even matter if he didn't know you. If you took that moment to just tell him a little bit about yourself, what you wanted to do with your life, right then and there, Nolan would be your biggest cheerleader. Today we are begging, because I'm not too proud to beg. We are begging, if anyone knows anything, his friends, strangers, please call the hotline, because we will not be able to rest until we get answers. But please understand that all of these distractions, these other questions, that people, the attacks that people have sent our way, just know we will not be distracted. We are ready to do whatever we need to do as his parents to continue advocating for him, because Nolan is not here. He is not here to speak for himself. He is not here to tell us what happened. So again, we will not rest until we get answers. And if you know something, you need to let us know. Please do not be afraid. Okay? Thank you all so much again. We truly appreciate your love and support.
I'm facing a new challenge every morning, waking up, trying to process it. It's the biggest challenge I've ever had. I pretty much was raised up like a lot of you. I didn't have a lot, but I always said I wanted to give my children more than what I had. I think me and my wife did that. We raised Nolan to love everyone, be kind to everyone, because it was just the right thing to do. I got lots of stuff going, but what I really want to say is, like my wife said, if you know something and you are really, if Nolan was really your best friend, or for the people who say that he was their friend, please come forward and tell us what you know. All we want to know is the truth. We're not blaming anyone. We just want to know the truth. Any parent wants to.
Sad.
The disrespect is coming toward my wife and my family. For any parent, no matter what race you are, they need time to grieve. A parent can't grieve when you have people attacking them, attacking their jobs, attacking their character, just attacking them, period. Like, where's the empathy in it? We, as Americans, this is a diverse country. Not one race made this country. We all made this race. Made this country. So, we all need to come together. And like I said, if you know something, please come forward and just call our attorneys, give them information, and they'll take it and just help us out. And not just us, but all these families need answers. Anyone with information on any one of these cases, please come forward. Because losing a child is something that's got to do with the rest of his life. Thank you.
Christine has been a nurse for years, and she hasn't ever gotten negative reviews. But since she has been advocating to find out what happened to her 18-year-old son after he was washed up dead on Horn Island, sick people have been going on her company's website giving her negative reviews.
Sad.
Can you all
Hate.
imagine anything
Hate.
worse than that? That is a shame for God. They are just sick, evil people who would attack this mother and this father for simply saying, we want to know what happened to our child. Don't worry, Christine. We standing with you. We are standing with you. Yeah, next we're going to have the mother of Daniel Erving come and talk about her child and tell you what happened in her words, and then you'll hear brief remarks from attorney Sean DeRee.
Thank you, Mr. Crump. Tampering charges in this case is absolutely unacceptable. Tampering in itself means that someone intentionally hid, destroyed, or altered evidence. If the district attorney's office has that evidence, take that evidence, put it together, and present it to a new grand jury.
Right. Let's go.
And if the district attorney's office doesn't want to do it, we are calling on an independent investigation by the Department of Justice, because we are here for the truth. And one last point I want to add, Mr. Crump said, Daniel Erving, when these boys said that he drowned, he was a high school swimmer. He was on the swim team. He was a healthy, young 18-year-old male. So that story that he drowned accidentally, it doesn't add up. It does not add up, and we want the truth.
Police and law enforcement are supposed to be protecting and serving. But my question today is, who are they protecting and which communities are they
Big
serving?
cover up.
What we want to know is why crimes against Black and brown people receive less justice and less coverage. And I'm going to give you some data to back it up. I'm going to read it because I don't want to make any mistakes here. Over a 10-year period, statistics show
Gotta be a cover up if he was on the swim team.
of Black killings go uncharged, no charges really. And so that means over half of those related killings are never prosecuted. And when you think about arrest rates, 63% of white victims receive justice versus are compared to 47% of Black victims. So when people think we have two systems of justice in this country, the data kind of backs that up. And now we'll hear from Tamika.
My name is Tamika Erving. I am the mother of Daniel Erving. This is my daughter, Azaria Erving. This is Daniel's eldest sister. So, what a lot of you guys don't know, to give you like some context, my son told me that he was going to go outside and hang with some friends. Okay? And I was under the understanding that he would be in the neighborhood. So I didn't know where my son was. I thought that he was just visiting friends in the neighborhood. Around 8 o'clock or so, I started to text Mike, call Mike. And Mike was an honorable child. He wanted to serve and protect, be in the military. He loved people. He always had a joke to tell. He was very comical. So I called the police the following day at 12:30 in the morning, and I said, hey, my son ID is here, and his money is here, and his social security is here, and I don't know where he's at, and this is not like him, so I'm reporting him missing under suspicious circumstances. The officers were very dismissive. The officers were very dismissive. So I didn't get any information about where my son was. I canvassed the neighborhood. I knocked on doors. I asked neighbors for video footage. I had to do the footwork, the research, the investigating. I had to do it. So to the mothers, to anyone out there who have a loved one, do not wait for the police.
Where do you want to buy yours from?
Outgrown your summer favorite? Listed on Depop, where taste recognizes taste.
Whose kid is this?
G-Fiber helps our businesses run. Within the small business community, reliability is super important, and G-Fiber has been essential. We've never had to resolve any issues because there haven't been any issues. It's been amazing.
The PetSmart app has powerful features to help you care for your pet. We also have Store with human-powered grooming technology. Talk about cutting edge. Book in app, groom in store. PetSmart, anything for pets.
The people that are in place to serve and protect failed to do their job from the very start. When I reported my son missing, it took them 35 hours. Over 35 hours to input his information, only in the state system, showing that he was missing. They failed to enter his information in the NCIC, the National Criminal Database. Being my son was under 21, law enforcement had a responsibility to enter his information within 2 hours, and they failed to do that. My son will fight for me, and I'm here to fight for him. I want justice. We are in the pursuit of justice.
Justice for Daniel Erving. Justice for Daniel Erving. Daniel Erving. And the final family you will hear from is going to be the family of Tyler Smith. Many of you haven't heard of at all. And I want to have his family who drove from Lexington, Kentucky to the National Urban League Convention to say that Tyler Smith life matters too. Y'all, please give him a round of applause. Tyler Smith life matters. Tyler Smith life matters. Tyler Smith life matters.
I want to thank everyone for showing up today, supporting all these families. I was asked many times, who is Tyler? What does Tyler mean to you? And I had to take a deep dive into that because to give a few words wouldn't be justice. So I went into my prayer closet, as most families do, because see, Tyler calls me name. And when people ask me to tell them, I find a struggle in finding words big enough to describe who he is. Tyler is charismatic. He's warmth. Tyler is love. Tyler is compassion and tolerance. Tyler is focus and determination. Tyler is an entrepreneur with dreams, goals, and a vision for his future. Tyler is a calming presence, a peacemaker, and a source of comfort to those around him. Tyler is that warm piece of cake straight out of the oven, that soft buttermilk biscuit that the butter glides across the top.
Tyler is the depth of a baby's laughter and the warmth of a grandmother's hug. Tyler is what many people spend a lifetime searching for, but never fully find a genuine soul with a kind heart and a beautiful spirit. For me, Tyler is much more than all of those things. He's my motivation, my determination, the wind beneath my wings. Even in his absence, he continues to give me strength. He has become a part of the reason I stand, the part of the reason that I keep moving forward. When I received that call at 6 a.m. that morning that my grandson had been involved in a shooting, I thought, okay, hand, foot. And I arrived upon the scene of the hospital and found out that this was a gunshot wound to the head. Again, I'm a praying mother. I have a son who a year ago had a near fatal car accident. I know what God can do. You can't tell me what God can do. I've seen it. I watch it every day. I watch him learn how to walk and talk. And I comforted his grandfather and said, don't worry about this. We've already been through this fire. It'll be okay. When the physician came out and pronounced my grandson,
Hey, Macash.
self-inflicted,
Hey, Precious.
accidental,
How
I
you
told
doing?
her, you're a liar, and there is no truth in it. I explained to her immediately. I said, how do you have this evidence for you to know this? She said, because they said. I said, they said? She said, yes. As days progressed, my family and I began to move forward. We got none effort, energy at all from the Lexington Fayette County Police Department. We were told
Y'all, they trying to take our young kids out.
accidental,
The good ones.
self-inflicted.
They don't want the
They
bad
offered
ones.
no traces
They only
of
want the
gun
good
residue,
ones.
even though I called the coroner's office and the police department.
They won't.
And I begged and pleaded, please, back his hands. No child, and I say child because it's relative, no one was searched on the scene. They took an investigation as a total from all 5 of these young people and said, they said this is what happened. I asked for gun residue on anyone. The answer that I was given, well, there's no need to bag his hands. Everyone in this room would have gun residue on them. That was their excuse to me. When they moved my grandson in an expedient manner, not to our local coroner's office, but to the state capitol, which I was told wouldn't happen until that following Monday, miraculously, in 2 hours, he was on his way to the medical examiner in the capitol. On Monday morning at 10 a.m., they came back and told me again, accidental, self-inflicted. For 17 days, my sons and I worked tirelessly, investigating everything on our own. The police department gave us nothing, absolutely nothing. They treated me as if I were a pirate, asking all the wrong questions. Why do you need to know? We've handed you that carrot already. Take a bite. Settle down. It's accidental, self-inflicted. As I talked to the police chief, I explained to him. He said, well, what do you want from this? What are you looking for? I said, what would you be looking for?
Exactly.
I want transparency. I want you to simply do the job that you were paid to do. My family never asked you for a word of love. We just asked you to earn the paycheck that you either receive this week or the next. We ask you to simply, the same way you go into our black and brown neighborhoods and you can investigate and you can interrogate and you can charge, give us the same respect. Tyler is loved. He's loved. But most importantly, Tyler calls her mama. Tyler calls me Pip.
That's my baby, Nolan. He's my baby. It will be my dying breath to say his name. No stone will go unturned. I'm not afraid to go to hell and sit with the devil about my work. I want to know, I want transparency, I want someone to speak on it. Continue to say our names, continue to say our children's names. We deserve answers. We deserve justice. We deserve transparency. That's all we're asking for. And I thank you all so much for the time and the space that you have given every one of us.
Justice for Tyler Smith. Justice for Tyler Smith. Justice for Tyler Smith. And we're going to get to the truth on Tyler. I promise you, we're going to get to the truth on what happened to Tyler Smith. At this time, President Mario, we're going to ask that the Congresswoman just say a brief word and take questions. Yes, Evans, CBC, thank you all very much.
Let me simply say the two most powerful words we can say. To you as families, to the Urban League family, to you, President and CEO, and my good friend, to you, Attorney Ben Crump. Thank you. But let me just say, the Congressional Black Caucus, we aren't just coming today. We communicated with Attorney Crump, with President Martin Muriel, and we stand with you. And I'll end with your words, Mark. We're going to let justice roll down like a stream and righteousness like mighty waters. We are the Congressional Black Caucus. We stand for you, for justice, transparency, and righteousness. Thank you and God bless you.
This has been moving and powerful. We want to take questions from members of the media. Members of the media, if anyone in the working media has a question for Attorney Crump, then please identify yourself, speak real loudly. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. And that's an excellent question because thank God for us being able to get the national attention on Nolan Wells' case. And that doesn't happen just by coincidence. It's a lot of the civil rights community, a lot of the activists, Reverend Al, people like Barron Allen, Tyler Perry, everybody on social media coming to say, no, this ain't adding up. We got to find out what happened to Nolan Wells. And then we get contacted by our good friend, Attorney Sean DeRea, saying that, hey, we got a similar case, Attorney Crump, where you co-counsel with us, and Attorney Brooklyn start working with them. And then we get a call to the call center, President Mario, and I simply can't believe what happened to Tyler Smith. It shocks my conscience. And so Kareem Ali and Cliff Jones, my investigators, they start to investigate. And we're saying, this can't be true. They really didn't do a gunshot residue test on the hands. That's basic. And so it hits me that all of them are 18-year-old black kids that died in very questionable circumstances when Nolan was the only black kid on the boat. Daniel was the only black kid allegedly on a fishing trip. And Tyler was the only black kid at the 4th of July celebration party, house party. And all of them are 18 years old. Look at the dates. That's eerie. When you look at the dates, February 8th, Tyler Smith is born. July 4th, 2026, he is dead. Can I see the other? This is Daniel Erving. He's born November 21st, 2007. He is dead on April 17th, 2026. President, Nolan Wells, born August 19th, 2007. predetermined. All of these young black kids were born in 2007, and all three of these black kids died 2026, 18 years of age, on the cusp of manhood. And I said, no, we got to show that this is not a coincidence that all these young 18-year-old black men are ending up dead and nobody's being held accountable. No, we got to bring the law. We got to bring the law. We must bring the law for these 18-year-old black men. Let me also our members who were planning to come to Nashville asked me late last week if we would be commenting on, dealing with, shedding any light on the Nolan Wells case. I invited Ben Crump to come to Nashville to brief us on the Wells case. In the course of that conversation, he shared with me.
Hey, y'all, I'm back. I'm sorry. I had to give me something to eat.
I said, two other similar cases. I said, Ben, can you bring all of the things you asked for? Because the thousands of urban leaders who are here are interested in.
Please hit the like button, y'all. Don't come over here with your racist. Absolutely, get them out.
And that is what the National Urban Conference is all about. It is about dealing with the pressing.
Leave us alone. We wouldn't have to have no press conference.
The nation and face Black America. So we are here because this is what we do. Yes.
Y'all came from us anyway.
Trayvon Martin back in the early teens, Michael Brown, George Floyd, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice. We deal with these issues because our constituency wants to hear directly. And I want to say this. We trust Ben Crump. And we know that he does not engage in chasing false cases. That he also, when he takes a case, that he's going to elevate the word and the personality and the pain of the families. All too often, when Black families are victims of violence and victims of unfair justice system, they suffer in silence. They can't find lawyers with the courage and the ability. They suffer in silence. So I know when Ben Crump has a matter, he is always welcome at the National Urban League Conference to come and bring us up to date. And that's why we're here in Nashville. Other press questions? Any others? Yes, ma'am. Identify yourself, please. New York Post. Yep, we know about the question. We're ready for it. This attack and this threat to sue us and the family for defamation. It's a distraction. We're not distracted by it at all. And it's about getting to the truth. That's what we want. And that's what we're focused on.
That should not be moved.
We haven't done anything other than ask questions to get to the truth. Okay. Next one. That accusation doesn't deserve a response. That's right. There's no dignity. That's right.
Get that foolishness out.
There's someone standing up for children who have died. We don't waste our time.
Yeah.
Arguing.
That's deflection.
We don't waste our time arguing with people who want to distract
about our kids. What the hell is wrong with y'all?
Black young men.
It's not our fault y'all threatened.
And I don't think the New York Post, all it did
salvation to distractions like that. This is such an old story. We fight for justice and someone suggests all we want is publicity. That's right. You know what happens when we stand here? Our inboxes are filled with hate messages, hate mail.
It is not our fault that we are chosen and y'all came from us. And y'all are mad that God did not choose y'all.
And I'm not, you're a reporter, you work for the paper, your editors told you to ask this question.
I'll be back on y'all asses in a minute.
You will not be distracted. And I'm not, Ben Crump is like any lawyer. He should get paid for his work.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Just like every Wall Street lawyer, every
Trump fake lawyers.
Every insurance defense lawyer.
Absolutely. Every lawyer in the Department of Defense that's trifling, not doing a job, a part of the organized crime, they getting paid for that.
Let's not give air to haters.
Absolutely.
Distractors.
They mad at God because we chosen and they come from us. We don't come from them. They better be glad we didn't do no blackwashing. Forget whitewashing.
I will not ever surrender the fact that I am American. However, we sell.
Your next breakdown could cost thousands.
Unless you have endurance. I will never pay for covered car repairs again. Endurance covers your car.
Y'all hit the like button. It ain't but a few of us in here.
And some want to. I fly the American flag in front of my house. But on the other side of my porch, I fly the Juneteenth flag. And we are not going to let anyone diminish our birthright, our constitutional right.
Whether they ignore them or not.
Birthright to be treated fairly and justly in this country. It is very difficult and challenging in these times, but we are not going to be tricked.
Make sure y'all vote.
We're not going to be distracted. I am an American. I am an African American. I am a Black American. And I'm proud to be one.
Amen.
But I think we need to clearly understand that African Americans, Black people, and civil rights leaders have always been the conscience of this country. Have always been loyal to the nation, even in the most challenging times.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to suggest it's easy for us. But what we're not going to allow is for people to marginalize us, treat us like second-class citizens, or suggest that somehow...
When we was here first.
Let me tell you what a true patriot is. A true patriot stands up for justice. A true patriot stands up for the families and the victims of violence. A true patriot holds the justice system accountable.
Amen. Let's go.
For an unjust justice system.
No excuses.
So we gotta understand that we're not gonna get tricked and cornered into people suggesting because we stand up for justice, we're something other than a true and full patriot in this country. That's the way I feel. I said last night, I was born in a segregated hospital, born in a segregated city, watched my parents and their friends fight and litigate and march to open doors of opportunity. The reason why these times are so tough and why they're so difficult is because if we are not careful and if we are not vigilant and diligent, our children and grandchildren will be relitigating the battles of our parents. This movement in this country to turn back the hands of time is palpable.
How long have I been saying that, Jen? I tried to warn everybody.
And we'll stand up for other families. And we'll stand up for other people.
Not just recently, for over a year or two.
We are true patriots. We're doing it because we believe in justice. We do it because we're going to hold the justice system accountable. This Urban League movement has a mission. And its mission is something we will not surrender. Like the Congressional Black Caucus says, we have no permanent friends. We have no permanent enemies. We only have permanent interests. So thank you for your question.
And let me say this before I move on to the final two questions. You know, we as African Americans, as the people before said, we have this duality. I mean, on one hand, we know that when the founders wrote the Constitution, they never expected that the rights would apply to us. But like my personal hero, Thurgood Marshall said, I know they didn't intend it to apply to us, but we're going to make it apply to us anyway.
Right.
Because we are American citizens. And if
we are the originals.
Built this country, it was our ancestors.
Absolutely.
Rolling in the cotton fields. I mean, doing the things that made this very young country become such a prosperous country.
Free labor.
At such an early age in its infancy. I mean, when you think about what slavery did to elevate America, that were our ancestors.
Absolutely.
So, yes, I'm going to celebrate the 4th of
Stolen
July essence every year
labor.
because my ancestors built this joint.
Absolutely.
And then I'm really going to celebrate
who y'all think y'all are.
Because I know that is what we do to acknowledge our ancestors. Just like Jewish Americans celebrate the 4th of July in their important dates, just like Italian Americans celebrate the 4th of July in their important dates, just like Spanish Americans celebrate the 4th of July in important days to them. Black people, we celebrate the 4th of July because we built America.
Let's go. Up you mean.
CNN, and I want the TV man that's going to be it. Go ahead.
Well, I don't have anything to say about that because he like white girls. His mama hadn't spoke against her. That's what he liked.
I'll speak briefly to Daniel Erving, but that's why I was brought in to bring attention to Daniel Erving.
I have nieces and nephews, and if they get out of line,
we have not had any progress with the Dallas County.
y'all already know.
We are planning, Mr. Crump and I, to meet with the district attorney if he will meet us, and we want to talk about this case. We're going to talk about this evidence, and we want to move this forward, and we want murder charges. Is that right, Mr. Crump?
You know, one of the things that Sean and Tamika said, Ryan, she said that there was a witness after the trial that said Tamika, the young man was limping when he came back. And that was part of the investigation. And she said, well, why didn't y'all explore that? Like, why are you limping? You're saying my son jumped off the bridge. Well, that's going to cause you to limp.
Yes, that is true. And there was a witness that provided video footage via flash drive to the detectives. And they failed to enter that information in the probable cause after.
How you fail to research the evidence?
The witness also said that the detectives just grossly overlooked that, and they failed to enter that information.
They intentionally overlooked it.
Daniel did not drown, and tampering with evidence
It's against the law.
For the murder they committed.
And I would just respond to this here on Ryan's case. And his mother believes her child was murdered. We are still trying to get all the information, Attorney DeRay and I, but she does not believe her son unforced went into a lake, a high school swimmer, and drowned. She just isn't accepting that. And she has a right as a parent to question that. As it relates to Tyler Smith, we're going to have more information coming forward because of the hard work of his mother and grandmother, and we think the shoe is about to drop on that. And we're going to meet with the district attorney. We haven't yet, but we're going to meet with them because people are starting to come forward. And I again think
Where they said the bridge had a lot of tree
people are coming
debris.
forward in their case. That's inspiring people to come forward in Tyler Smith's case as well. So thank you all for coming forward. Okay.
I have talked to my grandkids. Don't be the odd person out.
My message would be that we have to have tough conversations. This is something our community already knows. We have to make sure that, and I know my husband and I, we have had countless conversations with all of our children about the importance of understanding when you are moving in different spaces. With people that
I don't care if they're your friends or not, black or white.
That we have to have these conversations, but they are needed in order to hopefully keep our children safe. So I would say to all the mothers out there, especially my black mothers, we just have to keep pushing forward. We have to do the things to protect our children.
This is so tragic, but this is why Crump is so important. This is why when families face these types of challenges, they need good counsel.
That's right.
They should not wallow and try to handle it themselves. They shouldn't just go to community leaders and politicians, although that's important. They need good counsel. They need good civil rights support in the case.
Let me back that up.
Although that's important. They need good counsel. They need good civil rights counsel. They need people like Crump or Merritt, and there are many others around the nation who do this kind of...
Tyler Smith, Daniel Erving, Nolan Wells.
Encourage families that face cases of injustice, cases where they want answers, to work to get good counsel. We at Urban League, our affiliates, we get calls all the time. And what we try to do is guide them in the right direction. We try to help them identify counsel or people, and that is really, really important in the case. I want to confront the question you asked about this. Something in this country, whenever a black person is the victim of an act of injustice, why is it when we seek justice, we get this smear campaign?
That's right.
Hey. Cause it's saying, how dare y'all investigate what we have done to you. Just take it and move on. How dare you? Them days is over, baby. That's all I know.
From any
distracted and intimidated.
Members of our community. Let the charges come. I say it's like they're blowing bubbles.
Take what we would take it. Just take it. Y'all been taking it. Shit.
But you know what I found? Like every loud person attacking us, there's 15 quiet people. Yes. Who represent silent supporters of justice. They may not speak out. They may not go on social media. But they're in solidarity. Remember that. The loudest voices in the room are not the most important voices in the room. Let me thank you all for coming. We've got some other activities. I will power motion. Let's thank them from. Let's one more time thank these families for their courage. I want to thank the media for coming out as well. This press conference is adjourned. Thank you, North L'Oreal and the National Urban League.
Yeah, I'm going to back it up for what I missed in the beginning. I'm going to back it up. If that's okay, man. And we're going to say full justice for Carmelo Anthony. Did y'all see his real mugshot on my wall? For our black children. Justice for our black children. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me say how much I appreciate you all coming out for this important media conference. We have organized this press conference for a few purposes. One purpose is because we want the world to know that the National Urban League and all of our affiliates and members and supporters across the country are standing with these three families.
We ain't going nowhere.
And when families suffer the tragedy of the loss of a child, it gets lonely. And when families suffer the loss of children under circumstances that are suspicious and to the naked eye appear unjust, we must stand with these families. When families face the challenge of a non-responsive criminal justice system, we must stand with these families. With this giant of a lawyer and advocate over the last 15 years, going all the way back to Trayvon Martin, we have stood with Ben Crump and his clients. And we have stood with Ben Crump and his clients because we want the community to know that we are not going to be silent in the face of injustice. Amen.
Nope.
You and
Them days is over.
Cannot even fathom the pain of these families. I want to thank them for their courage. And being here in public under the glare of the media in these circumstances. But we want them to know they are with family. We are standing with family. So Ben Crump is going to bring us all up to date on the latest facts, events, and status of these 3 cases. And we are going to continue, as we said in the earlier session, to advocate until there is justice for these 3 families. And we will not be silent. We will not get tired. We will not get distracted until justice falls down in these 3 cases. So I'm proud to introduce a man who is known as the Attorney General for Black America. And I dare say he stands with the great lawyers that our community has produced. Thurgood Marshall, Constance Baker Motley, Johnny Cotton, and I can name so many others. Over the years have been advocates for our community in many, many ways. So ladies and gentlemen, the next voice you are going to hear is from one of America's great lawyers, someone who is giving voice to the families and the victims of injustice. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Crump.
And thank you to President and CEO of the National Urban League, Mark Morial. Please give a great round of applause for him not making it robbery to invite the families to be here at this great convention. We are so grateful to him and the others in the civil rights community for standing up like they have stood up in the past. And just like we got justice for George Floyd, just like we got justice for Breonna Taylor, just like we got justice for Ahmaud Arbery, we gonna get justice for Nolan Wells. We gonna get justice for Daniel Erving. And we gonna get justice for Taylor Smith. And the large part is because you all are not afraid to speak truth to power.
Truth to power.
Thank you, Mr. Mario. Again, I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Lisa Park, Attorney Eric Hertz. We are here fighting for the family with other great lawyers for Nolan Wells. We also have present with us the family of Daniel Erving, who many of you are just learning about outside of Dallas, Texas, and his tragedy. We have Attorney Sean DeRaya and Attorney Brooke Cluse fighting to help that family get justice, and we want to applaud his mother, Tamika, who has been fighting as only a mother would fight with not many people in the world listening. But we're listening today, Tamika. You are not alone, Tamika. You got Nolan's mother and father, Christine, and Elmore Wansley, who are standing with you as well. Tamika, your daughter is here. You are not alone. God, please let her know she is not alone. Justice for Daniel Erving. Attorney Harry Daniels, we also have the family of Tyler Smith, Lexington, Kentucky. You're going to hear from all these families. You're going to hear from Tyler's mother and especially his grandmother. You know, until the lawyers get there, until the community advocates get there, a lot of times these families are just by themselves, President Mario. And thank God for this mother and this praying grandmother who refused to let him sweep the death of her grandbaby under the rug. And so I will say briefly about each of these tragedies. Obviously, many of you know about Nolan Wells. And you'll hear from his mother and father after brief remarks by Attorney Burks and Attorney Park. But we all know July 4th, Nolan Wells goes to France, celebrating the 4th of July. All the friends come back. Nolan Wells tragically washes up on the shore 2 days later, dead. And so we know all the current events that have been happening. And we are announcing that we have the audio from the officials, and we have retained and are consulting with some of the foremost audio engineering experts to review those audio tapes from the CTO call in its entirety. We also, and Attorney Burks may go into greater detail on these matters, have consulted President Barron with oceanic engineering experts to talk about how these facts are lining up. The fact that they say Nolan's body was found in the same location where they say they left him at. And so we want to know, how is that possible with the oceanic tides? We want experts. I mean, you got low tides and high tides. It's not adding up, so we are going to dot every I and cross every T until we find out what happened to Nolan Wells. Attorney Hurst will also go into a little more detail at Attorney Park about how we're trying to coordinate with Dr. Roger Mitchell, who conducted the independent autopsy of Nolan Wells, to be able to inspect his throat that was missing from his body when he was flown to do the autopsy.
That missing throat is still a problem.
Also, we are hopeful that they will discuss with Dr. Mitchell the photographs and observations made at the time when Nolan was first discovered, because Dr. Mitchell did not get an opportunity until July 10th to be able to examine his body. And at that time, we know the airways and the lungs had already been dissected and so forth, so we can't tell if there was the presence of water or not. That would suggest whether he drowned or not. And remember what Dr. Roger Mitchell said in his autopsy. President Barron, he talked about the fact that to say he drowned does not draw the conclusions of what happened to Nolan Wells. He said it is equally important to know at what condition was Nolan Wells' body when he went into the water. Was he conscious or was he unconscious? Was he forced into the water or did he go unforced into the water? He said all of these things are very important. And so we are dotting I's and crossing T's. We are focused on getting to the truth, and we stand for the truth. Me and everybody on my legal team stand for the truth, no matter who it implicates or who it exonerates. We stand for justice, no matter who it convicts or who it acquits. And we stand for transparency, so everybody can see. And that's all we want. We want answers. We're not casting aspersions on anybody. We are saying that we want to make sure everybody who is remotely involved has their questions answered to make sure we have a full and fair and impartial and transparent investigation. And is that too much to ask for these broken-hearted parents? Is that too much to ask? That's how, if it was your child, wouldn't you want the same thing? And I get it, they're attacking me, they're attacking Reverend Al, they're attacking the parents of Nolan Wells. We don't care about those distractions. We ain't no ways tired. We are completely focused, completely laser focused on getting to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us, God. And so the threats, the attacks mean nothing to us. We will not be deterred. Look into our eyes. We're going to get to the truth. I am so grateful to Mr. Byron Allen for donating $100,000 to the GoFundMe so we can help get the best experts in the world. I am thankful to Reverend Al Sharpton. I am thankful to Mr. Tyler Perry. I'm thankful to Mr. Tara Owens. I am very thankful to everybody who did not think it robbery to say, what can we do to help people get to the truth and call in to the tip line so we can help not only Nolan Wells' family, but we can help Daniel Erving's family, and we can help Tate Smith's family as well. Everybody on social media, please continue to ask questions. Please continue to share photographs, share videos. It all helps us solve this potential of what happened to Nolan Wells. I mean, this is so important. Somebody saw something.
Somebody did something.
As Christine and Elmore have said, if you're really Nolan's friend, you know in your heart of hearts that if the roles were reversed, that Nolan would say something. He would call and tell what he saw. And so that's all they're asking. Do for Nolan what he would have done for you. Do for Nolan what he would have done for you. Do for Nolan what he would have done for you. Congresswoman Beatty, we thank you in the Congressional Black Caucus. Please stand and join us, Congresswoman. You all asking the questions from the Department of Justice and the FBI. It's important that we have the full weight and force of everybody who has any kind of authority to be able to help us get answers on Nolan Wells and the other 18-year-old black boys. Now, before I bring up the voice, I just want to say a word about Daniel Erving and about his case, and you will hear from Attorney Sean DeRaya, and after you hear from his mother, Tamika. So similar. And
Hey, Slinky, stop.
what they're saying about
Writing for
Nolan
music.
Wells. And that is her 18-year-old son, President Mario, Congresswoman Beatty. Two young white teenagers come, pick them up from their house. They go on, I guess it's a magic fishing trip.
Fishing.
Her son, I guess they are saying, accidentally drowned.
But he was a
his
swimmer.
two friends then throw away his clothes, right, Sean? Throw away his cell phone, go and delete all the text messages between Daniel Erving and them, and then say nothing. If it's an accidental drowning, why wouldn't you come to his mother and tell her he drowned by accident? Why wouldn't you go to the authorities? Why wouldn't you go to somebody and say there was a terrible tragedy, he accidentally drowned? But no, they gonna throw away all of the evidence that is germane to finding out what happened. And it's only after his mother raised all kind of hell, and for 4 days they are searching for what happened. Minister Dominique Alexander and the activists in Dallas, they're saying, no, something happened to Daniel Erving. We got to get to the bottom of this. Then and only then, Mark Royale, does the young people come forward to the authorities with their parents, and they say, well, we were there, and they confess that they threw away his cell phone and his clothes, and they deleted the messages. And so law enforcement charged and arrested him after 3 months. 3 months passed, not until Nolan Wells started making the news that they finally come and they arrest them, but not for the death of Daniel Erving. They arrest him with tampering with evidence, and that's it. And what his mother is saying, what Attorney Correa is saying, what Attorney Crump is saying is simply this. If they would lie about his cell phone and throw it away, if they would lie about his clothes and throw it away, if they would lie about deleting text messages between Daniel and them, how can you believe it when they say it was an accidental drowning? They need to take this case to a grand jury. And you're going to hear from his mother talk about other things that don't add up, about the conduct of the boys immediately after the drowning, the alleged drowning. It's so critically important that we remember Daniel Erving as well. And then Attorney Park, Attorney Cruz, we talk about Tyler stepping out. I'll just try to paint the picture real quickly for you, and then you'll hear from these parents, these broken-hearted parents. 4th of July. You can't make this stuff up, Congresswoman Bailey. Attorney Daniels, 4th of July. Same 4th of July, 2026, when Nolan goes missing. Tyler Smith in Lexington, Kentucky, is the only black person in the home where they're having a 4th of July small house party. Somehow, Tyler ends up being shot in his head, dead. 911 is called. They come, the police get there. They tell them that he shot himself, that they were playing Russian roulette. That's what they say. They say, there's the gun. The police retrieve the gun, and then they take their word as the gospel that he shot himself. They don't do gunshot residue on the hands of Tyler or nobody else. I mean, basic investigation 101. If you say he shot himself, wouldn't you bag his hands and wouldn't you test it for gunshot residue? But they don't do that. And you're going to hear from his grandmother and his mother as to the explanation, the implausible explanation that they offered them. And the fact that the gun, President Mariel, that they claimed he used to shoot himself with, the police, after they do analysis, it does not match the cases that they found on the floor to where he shot himself at. So still, they are taking their word for it. And it's 7 days later, right, Ms. Lindsay? 7 days later, after they did say, who I was in the house, they have to identify everybody who was in the home. And then they have to track down, well, if this is not the gun that caused the death of Tyler Smith, well, where's the gun at? So they have to go investigate. They go surround one of the young men's houses, Lee Mary, and they surround the house. He doesn't come and volunteer after knowing that they're trying to find out and get evidence about what happened to Tyler Smith and come forward voluntarily. They have to go to his house and surround it, and then he comes out and finally he volunteers that this is the gun. Think about that, Kathleen Tree. Just think about that for a second. You would think, after all of that, he is surely going to be arrested and charged with killing or being in a way responsible for the death of this 18-year-old young black man. But no, he is only charged with tampering with evidence, correct, Ms. Neeson? Nothing more. And nobody in all these 18-year-old young black kids, nobody has been held accountable in any way. And so that's why we're here, saying that we are not deterred. We're not going to let this sweep it under the rug. We're going to get to the answers of what happened to Nolan Wells, what happened to Daniel Erving, and what happened to Ryler Smith. 3 18-year-old black boys in a 3-month period around 4th of July.
Coming out of high school, they are targeted. Pay attention, good people.
In very similar ways as Nolan Wells. And I'm very thankful to his parents for using the attention that they were given and blessed with to also give attention to these other 18-year-old black boys. Thank you, Christine. Thank you so much, Elmore. At this time, before we get to your questions, you're going to hear briefly from Attorney Eric Hertz and then Attorney Lisa Park with some updates, and then you'll hear from Nolan Wells' parents. Attorney Eric Hertz, it's great to see you.
Thank you for showing up. I have some brief updates on the Nolan Wells case. We have been working with the district attorney. We've gotten a letter back yesterday, and she's willing to listen to some of the evidence we have, although we're having to still discuss her giving us back evidence. And that's something that we'll see. The phones, not just our clients' phones, but the other phones that are involved in this situation, we are trying to coordinate and have come to a tentative agreement with the district attorney to go ahead and have them investigated together jointly with our experts as well as their experts. And I believe, if I'm not speaking out of turn, the FBI is going to also be present there. And that's going to show a lot of stuff that we haven't seen. I'm going to keep this short, but as I always say, I would like to say one more time, society is judged by how the most powerful treat the most vulnerable. And justice will prevail. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Attorney Eric Hertz. And now you will hear briefly from Attorney Lisa Park, who heads up our Atlanta, Georgia office and has been leading on this case.
So today I just want to recognize all of these families for coming here today.
So this is where I came in at. Do y'all want me to keep going or y'all want me to end it right here? So this is where I came in at, y'all. Do y'all want me to keep going? Or do y'all want me to go ahead and stop right here? Let me know in the comments. It's just a few of us. What we gonna do? Are y'all still here? Hello? Hello?
Started on a cobblestone street where our story began.
Or it looks possible that not just the House, former President Obama is putting the dagger into Donald Trump, and he is working hard to end Trump's term now and also to
Let's
flip
go.
the Senate. We've seen some major developments in so-called red states as it relates to the United States Senate, and former President Obama is indeed leading the charge. Former President Obama earlier this morning talking about flipping Iowa, turning it blue, taking control of the Senate away from these despicable MAGA Republicans. Former President Obama announced that he's endorsing the Democrat in Iowa, Josh Turk. I'm sure you've seen Turk here on the Midas Touch Network for that U.S. Senate seat in Iowa. Turk is running against that despicable MAGA Republican, Ashley Hinson, who supported the disastrous budget bill. She loves the tariff. She loves to watch her constituents suffer. And Obama,
Oh, wow. Let's go
former
back.
President Obama is putting the dagger into Donald Trump, and he is working hard to end Trump's term now and also to flip the Senate. We've seen some major developments in so-called
Did you
red
just laugh?
states as it relates to the United States Senate, and former President Obama is indeed leading the charge. Former President Obama earlier this morning talking about flipping Iowa, turning it blue, taking control of the Senate away from these despicable MAGA Republicans. Former President Obama announced that he's endorsing the Democrat in Iowa, Josh Turk. I'm sure you've seen Turk here on the Midas Touch Network for that U.S. Senate seat in Iowa. Turk is running against that despicable MAGA Republican, Ashley Hinson, who supported the disastrous budget bill. She loves the tariff. She loves to watch her constituents suffer. And Obama was letting Donald Trump have it, invoking the state, Iowa, of course, where his historic rise for the Obama presidency began. Remember, Obama won the 2008 Iowa caucuses, and he carried the state in both the 2008 and 2012 general elections, reminding people that when you fight for the people of Iowa, Iowa stands with you, and Iowa is a very, very flippable seat for this upcoming Senate race. And the more we look at the Senate map, and I'll get to this in a moment, the more it looks possible that not just the House flipping blue, but the Senate actually has, I believe, a strong path, especially as Donald Trump brings us further and further into this catastrophic war. Let's show you what went down. So, Obama and Turk released, I think, the video of the year so far in this campaign cycle, and they were both reposting it today. Let me show you. Josh Turek posted the following. Great game, Mr. President. Iowa, you heard President Obama. The ball is in your court. Join our campaign and help us push for change. Watch this
Time to
incredible
make a
video of
change.
Turek and
We
Obama.
all
Let's play it.
You can do it. Time to make a change, y'all.
Ball game. Who's got next? I got it. You ready for me, Josh? I'm ready. Let's go. We playing horse or what? We're playing Iowa.
I know a little something about winning Iowa.
All right, here we go.
Are we ready?
You know when it's in.
Come on, I'm not going to just give it away.
All right.
That thing is silky smooth.
Thousands of hours of practice.
You were the shooter?
4-time Paralympian, 2-time gold medalist.
Back-to-back gold medals.
Okay. Ball game. Who's got next?
I got it. You ready for me, Josh?
I'm ready.
Let's go. We playing horse or what?
We're playing Iowa.
I know a little something about winning Iowa.
All right, here we go.
Are we ready?
You know when it's in.
Come on, I'm not going to just give it away.
All right.
That thing is silky smooth.
Thousands of hours of practice.
You were the shooter?
4-time Paralympian, 2-time gold medalist.
Back-to-back gold medals.
Okay.
I told you, I'm not just going to give it away to you. You got to earn this thing.
We'll back up a little bit. All right.
See, this is just going to put some pressure on me. Let's see if the bank's open. Oh, bank was closed.
I wasn't going to let you win.
Well.
Oh.
Come on now.
You have a Mount Rushmore?
I do think Jordan's the GOAT.
I do too.
I think LeBron's probably number 2.
Agree with you.
I think Kareem is probably number 3.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, come on. I thought I had that. I'd have to put Magic at 4.
I've got Russell after that, and then I think I go Kareem. That's good.
He's calling it now. So you like that 3-pointer?
Hey, you shoot where you want.
All right, let's go. Tell me how things are going out there.
Everywhere we go, urban areas, rural areas, people are ready for change.
I thought I had that one. That's Iowa right there, buddy. A lot of people have heard me say this. Of all the things I've done in politics, Iowa was my favorite thing. There was just a magic about regular folks showing up in gyms
like this,
and just talking out. How do we move our state forward? How do we move the country forward?
Well, I'll tell you what, people all across Iowa are saying that they're feeling that hope, that optimism for the first time in a long time.
That's my sense. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
I've seen enough. Not only did I get whooped, but you've got here a man of character, somebody who knows how to win. Now the ball's in your court, Iowa. Let's make sure that we send Josh Turek to the United States Senate.
Tell you what, he's a good shooter.
Okay. So, it works really, really, really beautifully.
I was impressed.
Now, former President Obama posted the following. Josh Turek has plans to make life better for every Iowan. Now, Iowa, the ball is in your court. Let's work to get Turek for Iowa elected. Now, I recently spoke with Turek. Here's what he told me. Let's play this clip.
Hello, my friend, and thank you for having me. I love seeing that video. It's even inspiring me. I'm Iowa State Representative Josh Turek. As the video said, born with spina bifida, 21 surgeries by the age of 12, gone on to play in 4 Paralympic Games, won 2 gold medals representing my country, been the director of a nonprofit organization where we provide free summer camps to disabled kids, and ran originally for my race because of what privatized Medicaid was doing in Iowa to the disabled population, and representing the reddest part of the state that any Democrat has been able to win in.
Well, Josh, tell us first about how you won in that area, because it does provide, pun intended, a blueprint for what you can do nationwide. So how'd you win that House seat originally when no one said that was possible?
Love that. It is the blueprint. And the blueprint is hard work, grit, determination. I went out every single day from June all the way until November, crawling those stairs, knocking doors, dragging my wheelchair up, having face-to-face conversations with, it did not matter the party, with Republicans, with independents, with Democrats. I was out there as a common sense prairie populist is what I would call myself, of going out there and talking about the kitchen table issues. And I would always hear 2 things when I would get up on people's doors. The very first thing they would say is, "How in the world did you get up here?" And I would say, I crawled up here. I drug my wheelchair up here. That's how important it is to have a conversation with you. And then I would tell them about my story and why I'm running and kitchen table issues. And by the end, they would say, you know, I'm not going to vote for every Democrat, but I'm going to vote for you because I like the kind of Democrat that you are.
Now, who's Josh Turek running against? He's running against Ashley Hinson, a MAGA Republican extremist currently in the House of Representatives. She did 2 town halls back in 2025, and now she hides from her constituents. Go figure. She's running for Senate, but she's hiding from her constituents. She supports data centers in everyone in Iowa's backyard. She supports the disastrous budget bill. She supports giving Donald Trump golden ballrooms and Qatari jets. I have quotes from her saying
a no
these
from
things.
me.
She supports the MAGA fascist agenda. She wants more Border Patrol and ICE to go into Iowa and to really cause pain and suffering and torture to the people there. She wants to figure out how she hurts the people of Iowa the most. She's running basically on a torture, kill, crush, destroy MAGA campaign, in my opinion, because that's the consequence of all of her actions, in my opinion. So just to remind you, back in September of 2025, and you see why Obama wants to make sure that Ashley Hinson is nowhere near the United States. She's dangerous. She's deadly and dangerous. Let's take a look over here. What she said back on September 2025. Remember when booed her? Here, play this clip.
Sorry.
Trump's one big, beautiful bill, a generational investment.
She said what?
President Trump's one big, beautiful bill, a generational investment. Tax relief for working Americans. I can't believe you would boo tax relief for working Americans.
And then she talked about how she loved the disastrous budget bill and how back in 2025, how it was going to spur all of this incredible economic growth. Let's play this clip.
Number 2, we're going to make some of these fundamental changes to a legacy program like Medicaid that's on autopilot with spending, and prove that the sky won't fall, right? People will get back into the workforce. The economy will roar back. I don't think we can fully grow our way out of where we are right now, but I think we have to start there. So when I look at the numbers coming out of CBO,
who messed it up?
One, I think they're wrong, right? When you look at their projections for the original Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, and you look at their projections for the IRA, they've historically been bad estimators, right? So they're estimating low levels of growth. They're estimating low levels of dollars coming in versus cost, right? So I think when I look at those numbers versus what I anticipate and what I'm hearing on the ground, people are hungry for this legislation. They're hungry for solid tax policy that's going to enable them to make those investments. And so I think we will see the ability not only to say the proof's in the pudding, this is a good bill, it's unleashing all of this opportunity for our economy, but then also at the same time proving to the American people, no, we're not going to cater to the fear-mongering from the Democrats that changing these programs is going to mean the American people are going to suffer, which is what they're out there saying.
And then when one of her constituents asked her, I think it was one of the very last town halls that she ever did, so you're okay with Trump and getting Qatari jets? And this was before we knew the 21,000 stock trades, which we obviously had an inkling that was going on, and before we understood the billions and billions of dollars that Trump and his family made, and now they want to, Trump and Kushner's, take over FIFA and Albanian islands and sell everything off. I mean, she's like, I love that. It's amazing. She goes, I'm very ethical. I sit on the House Ethics Committee, so I must be very ethical. Here, let's play this clip.
In particular, I'm thinking about the $400 million jet that was given to Mr. Trump. I'm thinking about the meme coins and the dinner at the White House. I'm thinking about the Liberty Fund and the Ponzi scheme and the billions of dollars that are coming into there. So there's lots of reasons why somebody like you might be silent. You might be scared to say something. You might actually like to see the corruption. I know there are some that are making a lot of money from it. Or you might not care about it. Could you help me understand why you are silent about this case.
I think it's really unfair to imply that I like to see corruption in Washington, D.C. I reject that premise wholeheartedly. I am here answering your questions in public because I care about transparency. Just a minute, I'm going to answer your question.
Well, stop
I
lying.
care about transparency and accessibility and doing things the right way. I was actually just named to the House Ethics Committee because I do things the right way. That is a committee that is evenly balanced. It's Republicans and Democrats 5 and 5, and we have to, in many cases, look at very serious allegations against our colleagues and police them for doing the right things. I'm answering your question. Steve, I'm answering your question. You may not like my answer, and if that's the case, then that's your right to not like my answer, but I'm answering your question. So one of the things
Now
that
you
I do
answering something where that wasn't
so
asked.
that my constituents know that the decisions that I am making, because I am accountable to all of you. Many of you probably didn't vote for me, some of you probably did. What I think is important is leading by example. And so when I was named to the House Appropriations Committee, for example, I want to make sure you know that any decision that I make, any funding request I make, is not something I'm going to get a kickback on. So my husband and I actually sold all of our publicly traded stocks. I'm not making stock trades to make money while I'm in Congress. I'm not doing any of that stuff. The other thing I think is important is following the rules. And so when you look at what happened with that,
Well, then you can't be up under his administration because he don't follow the rules.
And what I think is important to note in this bigger conversation is there is going to be a look at make sure that plane is safe for us to use. Ultimately, that's my biggest concern with any sort of plane like that. If it's received from a foreign entity, we need to make sure the rules were followed and that there are no spy materials available on the plane.
By the way, Obama took a surprise visit just the other day to the Obama Presidential Center, which is just absolutely incredible. Everybody should take a visit and just watch how he was greeted with love and a hero's welcome. Let's play this clip.
They love him. No booze.
And just so you see how Ashley Hinson's policies and Trump's policies are affecting real people in Iowa and what losing the Affordable Care Act tax credits did to people. And after the election, based on what Trump and MAGA did, you're going to have more people lose Affordable Care Act and more people lose Medicaid after the election. Here, let's play this clip right here.
I want you to look me in the eyes and tell me that you don't care if I die.
That's Grace Calvert's message to Iowa's congressional delegation. 4 months ago, Calvert was diagnosed with glioblastoma, a brain cancer with a median length of survival of 15 months. Doctors pulled an egg-sized tumor out of her head and told her she likely had 22 months left to live with treatment. Treatment she pays for with insurance through the Affordable Care Act.
They're saying, well, you don't need these enhanced subsidies. Why should you need that? And I'm like, well, I do need it because I have cancer and I'm probably going to die of it. They gave me 22 months.
Calvert put her information into a benefits calculator from the Kaiser Family Foundation, a health policy nonprofit. Once the Affordable Care Act's enhanced premium tax credits sunset, she expects her payments to more than double to more than $300
That's
a
exactly
month,
why.
which Calvert's not sure
Because they
she
don't
can
want you
afford.
to live.
Yeah, if we didn't have this good insurance that we could afford, I don't think I'd even be able to get treatment.
Calvert blames the credits going away on the Big Beautiful Bill, which did not include an extension to those benefits. Iowa's Republican representatives and senators all supported the Trump-backed bill.
You can't tell me you work for us and then do something that is going to harm us or kill us.
Calvert says she's tried to speak with some of Iowa's representatives and senators, but hasn't had any luck. With her insurance soon to be in jeopardy, she wants to get her message to them out.
Yeah, if we didn't have this good insurance that we could afford, I don't think I'd even be able to get treatment.
Now, it's not just Iowa folks that Donald Trump should be worried about. It's actually Idaho also. Iowa, and there's so many other states. But major developments out of the Senate race in Idaho, where the Democratic nominee for the Senate in Idaho withdrew, leaving independent Todd Achilles, a former Democratic state representative and Army veteran, as the main opposition to the GOP incumbent Jim Risk. Now, Jim Risch is the MAGA Republican through and through. He's 83 years old and running again, so he wants to hold this position till the time he's basically 90 years old, 89 and 89, 90. He chairs the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and so this guy has been the main backer of the Iran war, and he was promising the Iran war is going to be great and easy, trust Trump, more troops. I mean, this guy is as bad as you get. And so there was this Democratic candidate, David Roth, and then there was an independent candidate, Todd Achilles, and Todd was polling a little bit better than David, but Todd, former Democratic state representative, and so David pulled out of the race, putting his support behind Todd Achilles, thinking the independent has a better chance in this race than David Roth did. And there are polls that show Todd Achilles ahead now, but now this becomes, it still is a lean right Senate seat, but with a momentum in seeing Democrats overperform as they have in all these specials by 10 to 12 points. If this is a wave midterms, the way I think it could be a wave midterms, I see that road to even Idaho flipping. Pay attention to Idaho right here. And by the way, this is a third major race this month where a Democrat has dropped out to clear the way for an independent in a red state in order to allow for someone who could ultimately caucus with the Democrats to ensure Republicans are defeated. Todd Achilles said, with Mitch McConnell out of the Senate, I want to say congrats to Jim Risch on his promotion to the third oldest U.S. Senator. Way to go, buddy. And just so you see this heinous MAGA Republican Senator Jim Risch of Idaho, and if you're from Idaho, tell me how you feel about this in the comments below also, and make sure everybody subscribes to our YouTube channel. But this was June 23rd, 2026. This is Senator Risch back in June 23rd, delivering remarks telling people don't support war powers resolution. Let Trump do whatever Trump wants to do in Iran. Reminder, we have the receipts to all this stuff. This was June 23rd. And I think the people of Idaho will go, man, you want data centers in our backyard. You want never-ending wars with the United States and Israel going to war against everything while our country suffers. You want tariffs against the world. And don't try to act like that's helping the farmers of Idaho right now. Quite the contrary. Here's what Jim Risch has to say. Let's play it.
President, today we have before us House Concurrent Resolution number 86. That is the item of business. Well, first of all, I ask unanimous consent to speak for up to 5 minutes before the previously scheduled recess.
No more buying expensive blood glucose test strips. No more enduring the daily pain of finger pricking. This portable home health monitor simply clips onto your finger to accurately measure.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to talk for a minute about House Concurrent Resolution, the item of business that is before the United States Senate this morning. This is a House Concurrent Resolution which states in operative part, quote, Congress directs the President to remove United States armed forces from hostilities against the Islamic Republic of Iran. I'm going to urge everyone to vote no on this. It is wrong on so many levels, starting with the fact that a concurrent resolution process, which this attempts to do, has been held unconstitutional by the United States Supreme Court. So whatever happens with this, it's going to have no effect. The president isn't going to pay any attention to it. That's one thing. The second thing that's wrong with this is it directs him to remove United States armed forces from hostilities. There are no armed forces at this moment that are engaged in hostilities with Iran. The third thing, and the most important thing, is that voting on this, whether it passes or fails, sends a message to Iran. If this passes, the Iranians are going to simply stand up and walk away from negotiations. They're going to say this thing's over. The Congress has told the President of the United States, leave us alone, we can do whatever we want to do, and they will walk away. If you think that's a good idea, you should vote for this. On the other hand, if you believe that what the President of the United States has done, and that is bring the Iranians to the table to negotiate on items that they have refused to negotiate on for a long time in the past, and has used the armed forces of the United States to bring them to the table, then you should vote no on this. Let diplomacy work. Give the president, give the Department of State, give the current administration the ability to, once again, give Iran the opportunity to do the right thing. Maybe they will. We don't know for sure yet because we have some 50-some days left of the negotiations, but we ought to at least give that an opportunity to work. I urge everyone to vote no on the resolution. Thank you, Mr. President.
And then to remind you, back in January of 2025, Jim Risch was saying maximum pressure against the mullahs work, maximum pressure against Iran. He was one of the architects of all of this, starting back in January 20, going back earlier. But look what he said then. Play this clip.
Trump left office at the end of his first 4 years. Iran was greatly weakened economically, militarily, and everything else. Of course, then the new administration came in, shoveled a bunch of cash into him, begged him to come to the table to make an agreement. As a result of that, Iran got stronger and stronger. The good news is that this administration has a different view of it. I've had lengthy discussions with them, with the president himself. They are going to go back to a maximum pressure campaign against Iran. And look, Iran's got a decision to make. It isn't the people of Iran. It is the regime in it. The people of Iran, they want their freedom. They would love to have a free democratic country. The population leans west if it possibly can. The regime that's there is going to have to make some really tough decisions because I just don't see with the exterior pressure they're getting, the interior pressure they're getting, that they can sustain what they've been doing for any length of time.
And I've got more receipts of this guy. February 24th, 2026, 4 days before the invasion. Here's what he was saying. Let's play it.
I think the Iranian regime needs to listen very carefully to what President Trump is saying. He's a man who does not make idle threats. He does things about it. As you can see, he is preparing to do something about it. So the regime needs to listen very, very carefully.
And as the head of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Jim Risch should at the bare minimum be doing hearings on the war. Like, first off, we shouldn't be in this catastrophic war. But at a bare minimum, you're the damn chair of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Hold hearings on the war so we can ask questions and we can see what the hell is going on. Get that Admiral Brad Cooper, the line CENTCOM admiral. Let's find out what the hell's going on there. Let's get Hegseth there for hours. Let's ask these people questions. Let's get Rubio there. Let's get Jared Kushner there. Let's get Steve Witkoff. Don't we want to ask questions? That's why this risk, this isn't a political thing to me. It's like we need people to do freaking oversight. We need people who can bring accountability. And here you have Democratic Senator Kaine talking about what it's like to work with this MAGA Republican from Idaho who's now going against the independent. By the way, this guy from Idaho who also tried to block the Epstein files from getting released. And well, here's what Senator Kaine said. Play this clip.
My Virginians who were deployed overseas in the Ford, way past the period of the deployment, fires raging on deck, toilets that don't work. They're supposed to be home with their families. I know things that they're asking me that I can't tell them because they only tell us in classified. And get this, we learned something really important today. Chris, you correct me if I'm wrong. In a classified hearing, Chris asked the Senate Foreign Relations Committee Chair, Jim Risch, the following. What the witnesses say is classified, what the senators say is not. And Chris said, this is fine, classified hearing's fine. When are we going to have a public hearing about this war? When? Senator Risch said the following. I have decided that we will not have public hearings because I do not believe the administration's decision makers should be subject to public questioning by senators. I mean, can you believe that? I'll give them credit for candor, but I mean, they do not believe that the civilian decision makers should be subject to questions by United States senators. If they were secure in the justness of their cause or the adequacy of their plan, they would not be afraid to answer public questions about what they're doing. They'll put together the video of their own greatest hits intermixing it with Hollywood film productions and video game stuff and put it out all day long, but they don't want to answer questions that we ask them. We are going to keep forcing them again and again and again, as much as they hate it, to have to vote on this until we finally get in public the answers that the Americans deserve. And we think if Americans get the answers, we will grow and grow and grow in a desire to end this illegal war. Thank you so much.
Now, I'll just share with you very briefly what Todd Achilles, who's now got this path, this one-on-one race right now in Idaho after Roth pulled out of the race. Let's show you what Todd Achilles, former top Democratic representative in the state of Idaho. They know him in Idaho. He's an Army veteran. You know, this guy's a well-liked guy in Idaho. Here, play this clip.
There have been times in the life of every nation when people must stand, not in despair, but in determination. I believe that time is now.
This is the Karma Milani.
It's time to reclaim our republic. That's why I'm leaving the Democratic Party and announcing my independent campaign for U.S. Senate. I'm Todd Achilles. I was raised on a family farm. I served as an Army tank commander. I spent my career in the tech industry and served as an Idaho state representative. Now I'm a teacher and a veterans advocate. I love this country and I love Idaho, but we are failing. The two-party system is failing. No matter who's in power, the result's the same. Record debt, endless wars, policies that help corporations, not families. This is why I believe it's time for change. As an independent, I will fight to protect the public lands that we grew up on and that we raised our kids on, because these lands are Idaho's soul. I will not allow 1 acre to be sold. We need to pay down our national debt and not burden our kids. We cannot spend more lives and money on endless foreign conflicts, and we must rebuild an economy where a 40-hour week supports a home, a family, and a future. And in Congress, we need term limits, a stock trading ban, and money out of our elections. Some say this can't be done, that the system's just too rigged, but never underestimate people who've been betrayed. We Idahoans are independent. We believe in duty and service, not drama and self-interest. I'm not asking for allegiance to a party, just the opposite. I'm running to recommit ourselves to the Constitution and to each other. If you believe this two-party system is broken, then join our campaign. I know there's a lot of us out there. Let's build a new Idaho where we put people before politics.
Well, there you have it, everybody. Let me know what you think about all of this. Big developments in Iowa and Idaho. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching, everybody. Before you go, our book, WTF America, is available for pre-order now. It's the story of how we got here and how we fight our way back. To pre-order, scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Let's do this.
Yeah, I got one more before I go. Let me double check something. About Ghislaine Maxwell. Janet sent me something earlier saying, well, I saw it yesterday, but I didn't read it or look into it or anything, but she's saying that her pardon was denied. Catastrophic Thursday. Bluffs. Okay, let's hear about this. I mean, she needs to go back to the prison that she was moved from. She need hard time, hard labor. She need for them ladies in there to do to her what she was doing to those kids. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. Oh, this is no. So she was a scandal probe. Is it on top? So she was denied her pardon request. Yeah. He had her before Trump had her. He moved his homegirl. Are they gonna talk? Okay, so this one don't talk. Hold on. Yeah, he's walking the street somewhere. She's supposed to be in prison in Bryan, Texas. I don't believe it. But her request for a pardon was denied. Let me see. That's what they say. Good. She needs to rot in there. Hold on. Everybody who play with them kids, great, unalive, they need to all be locked up. And stay locked up. You know, they the biggest criminals. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. Organized crime at its best. And some people are still going along with that foolishness. That's a short. Oh, so they're not really talking about it. Oh, okay. So you gonna make me work for it. Hold on. Okay, so that's the one I just looked at. Oh, they just short clippings. Well, Brian, Texas ain't talking about it.
Caleb Birch grew up raising cattle, so he knows the cow patty when he sees it. This election day,
A unanimous resolution in the U.S. Senate today that the woman convicted of conspiring with Jeffrey Epstein should not receive a presidential pardon or any type of clemency. Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested in Bradford, New Hampshire in 2020, where she'd purchased a home, and she's now serving prison time for child sex trafficking. Maxwell has offered testimony that she says would clear both President Trump and former President Bill Clinton of any wrongdoing in connection with Epstein in exchange for clemency.
Oh, that's
2020, where she'd purchased a home, and she's now serving prison time for child sex trafficking. Maxwell has offered testimony that she says would clear both President Trump and former President Bill Clinton of any wrongdoing in connection with Epstein in exchange for clemency.
Yeah, no, we don't want you just to pardon your homie, lover, friends. No, ma'am. That's not what we want from you. We want the truth. Yeah, we want the truth. Nothing but the truth. So help you God. Hold on. One more before I go. The Tate brothers. Let's see if there's an update. Yeah, I heard something about their lives were in danger because of the seriousness of their crime. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's how that goes. Oh, you know them. Oh, okay. Well, hold on. Let me see something right quick. Let's go here.
I've interviewed with them. I've visited with them.
After yet another painful team offsite, Sarah leaned over and said,
You should really try Navan. We used it at my last company to streamline travel as
I've visited with them.
Let's go.
In Romania. I've interviewed with them on my platforms. My wife and daughter have accompanied me with them each and every time. We've met the women in their life. In one case with Andrew Tate, I've met his daughter. I want to be honest about this and give you my perspective.
Oh, my bad.
Perspective from not.
Okay, it ain't but a few of us in here, but I need you few to hit the like button.
Knowledge and experience with the system and with the Tates. Do I believe that he trafficked children? Do I believe that he human trafficked
Let's see if you're gonna be
women?
honest. You better say yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome to another sit down with Michael Francis. Hope everybody is doing well. All is very good, very blessed on this end, my friends. And as always, I give all the praise, honor, glory, and thanksgiving to our God for that. Well, as you can see, I'm still not in my studio. I am in the beautiful city of Dubrovnik, in the country of Croatia. Amazing, just a beautiful place. Second time we've been here in the past 2 years. And I'm here for a couple of reasons. Number one, my daughter got married in Lake Como last weekend. And my daughter and son-in-law now invited us to share their honeymoon with them. So my wife and I are here. And that's pretty good when your daughter and son-in-law are asking you to go on their honeymoon with them. It's pretty cool. And we're having a great time. And July 27th was my wife and I's 41st anniversary. So we're kind of celebrating both before we head home in a day or so. But it's been great, very, very blessed. And yes, I give all the praise, honor, and glory to our God for that, because it could have worked out a lot worse for me, but for some reason he's blessed me in so many ways, and I'm very, very thankful of that. And I've tried to stay out of some of the controversy that's going on back in the States, specifically with two guys that I know very well, Andrew and Tristan Tate. But so many of you have been asking me, Michael, what is your take on this? What do you feel about the arrest? What do you feel about the charges? You know them, and we'd love to hear your perspective on it. So I'm going to do that. I haven't avoided it for any particular reason other than, hey, we're having a good time, and sometimes you just need to block out all the noise. But I'm going to give you my perspective on it today. And people, I have been reading about it on social media and in the news, and I have to say, there's just so much toxic, hateful rhetoric that goes on in social media, mostly from people that don't have a clue, don't understand, don't know really anything about what's really going on. And it's harmful. I'll give you an example. Somebody made up something that maybe Governor DeSantis of Florida had it in for Trump and Rubio because he's going to oppose them in 2028, and he wanted to put them in a compromising position by allowing the Tates to be arrested by the marshals. Well, that's ridiculous, because the governor of any state has zero control over the federal marshals. He has no say in what they do at all. The marshals are a federal agency under the control of the Department of Justice. So he had nothing to do with that. It was just made up. So many things are being made up on social media about what's really going on with the Tates. And I'm going to give you my perspective, unbiased. And when I say unbiased, when I speak from experience, I speak from knowledge, and my experience has been both with the criminal justice system for a good portion of my life. I've been in prison for 8 years. I visited my dad for over 25 years. I understand the system. That's number one. Number two, I have experience with both the Tate brothers, Andrew and Tristan. I know them now for a number of years. You know, I've gotten to know them intimately well. Now, let me put this out there right away. I want you to understand this before you say anything is biased or anything else. You know, I'm pretty big on telling the truth, so let's do it. My sponsor, Cloak, dared me to see how exposed my information really is. So I went to cloak.com/Franzese. I put in my phone number. Inside the app, you generate burner. It's out there with your name on it. The longer you wait, the more your information gets bought. Tory remarks on social media, no doubt about it. And I can understand why people are upset with those remarks that are being made. I get it. If my own brother, if my own son were abusing a woman, I would call them out about it. Maybe not publicly, but I certainly wouldn't justify it. I certainly wouldn't, approve of it. I would call them out over it because I don't believe in that. I'm married 41 years. Never abused my wife, never laid a hand on her. She's my equal in every way, shape, or form. I have 5 daughters. I have granddaughters. I wouldn't stand for anybody in any way abusing them, any man or anyone else abusing them in any way. I'm not a misogynist. I'm not anything like that. So I don't agree with some of the inflammatory comments that they've made on social media to do whatever it is that they're doing. Okay, I want to put that right out there, and they know that. I've expressed that to them. My wife has told them that. My daughter has told them that. I want to be honest about this and give you my perspective from knowledge and experience with the system and with the Tates, and specifically also with the United Kingdom. I'm going to tell you my experience with them so you'll know where I'm coming from on this. First of all, I want to make this very clear. Inflammatory remarks on social media could be, just very, very disgusting maybe. Yes, let's use the word. But are they criminal? Do they rise to the standard of criminality? That's what's important here. Because remember, they're being charged with criminal conduct, not with what they say on social media. Because if we were going to indict people for what they say on social media, we would indict 3/4 of the people that are on social media. You have to see some of the comments that I get. And yes, if these comments are causing other people to do harm, well, then maybe they should be held back, for sure. Maybe they could rise to the level of criminality. Maybe. But have they in the Tate's case? That's what we're going to talk about here today. Now, let me go back to this, my knowledge of the Tates. I've known them now for a number of years. I've visited with them in Romania. I've interviewed with them on my platforms. You know that. You've seen the interviews. My wife and daughter have accompanied me with them each and every time. We've met the women in their life. In one case with Andrew Tate, I've met his daughter. I've been to the zoo with him and his daughter and the woman that bore his child, that he's been with for many, many, many years, who happens to love him very much. I watched him with his daughter. She loved her daddy very much. We went through the zoo. We spent several hours together. It was a loving relationship that I witnessed.
That don't mean he's not a PDF.
Do I believe that he trafficked children? No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
Do I believe that
because of how he interact with his child?
Women? Absolutely not. Now, before you jump on me, and I know I'm going to get the comments and all the hateful stuff, and I'm a Trump supporter and all this kind of nonsense. I get it. I'm used to it. I'm on social media. You got to have thick skin because people talk out of ignorance, out of hate, and out of whatever. They don't talk out of knowledge and experience.
Maybe.
But let me tell you this. I have looked at the case in Romania. I have read documents. I have spoken to the attorney. I have seen the results of the investigation. It was garbage. There was nothing credible there whatsoever. That's why this case has lingered for years and years and years, because their inflammatory remarks have incited the wrong people on the left, the progressives, that hate the message that Andrew and Tristan Tate are giving out about making men men. There's no question. Now, maybe did they do it the wrong way sometimes? Possibly. Okay, I'll give you that. Maybe they
taking
say things that be
cookies
very
from minors and adults.
I'll give you that.
Is not making
their actions, their actions, their behavior rise to the level of criminality. Well, so far, we haven't seen that. There hasn't been a credible witness that's provided any kind of evidence that these two boys, and I call them boys, I'm old enough to
I'm
be
not
their
gonna be able to
father and
watch
I've
this.
experienced them, have done anything criminal. I'm sorry. In the state of California, where a woman went off and accused them of all things. Well, that case fell apart for lack of evidence.
No,
There was
didn't
no
the woman
evidence to
pass
support
away?
it. Maybe their words were inflammatory. Maybe what they said about her wasn't nice, but it wasn't criminal.
All right,
And it
y'all,
fell
I gotta
apart
go.
in California. In Florida, the same exact thing. The woman that started all of this years ago